all of us here right now. So welcome him all the way from Mississippi, Mr. Ben Burkett. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. National Family Farm Coalition, the organization of family farmers. We're here representing the true family farmers of America today. Against the TPP. We stand in solidarity with you all and hope that you all stand in solidarity with us as we continue this struggle to uplift the people. Up with the people, down with the corporation. Up with the people, down with the corporation. Up with the people, down with the corporation. Thank you.
From Occupy San Diego, they've been with us from the beginning. I don't even know what else to say. It's Hex. Come on! Give a round of applause for Hex! It's amazing! San Diego, so share with us while we stand here, while you're here today!
Okay, I was supposed to speak and usually I kind of wing it, but there's just so much on my head I had to kind of write it down, so bear with me, alright? Occupy San Diego, how you doing? Where you at? Yes. So, 9 months ago today, I was a confused Obama supporter. You can go ahead and laugh at that if you want. I deserve it. I came to this very spot, the best spot, San Diego, here, amongst a bunch of people who would never have previously given each other the time of day, to lend my voice to the frustration with self-destructive patterns of politics in our society, in our economy, and our culture. Over time, I came to see that all the oppression, exploitation, and mental and physical even enslavement in the world serve to keep global corporate interests in the driver's seat. No more blatantly is this proven than in secret free trade agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which undermine even governments. You know it's bad when both the power and the people agree that the Congress is worthless. Just to keep the 1%, filthy, bloody, oily, powdery white, shiny rich. Because merely displacing and exploiting and enslaving and killing the people in the land of these nations just wasn't good enough, was it? You know what proof the corporations can never be human? A human, given time... Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Cool. A human, given time, can come to realize that it's impossible to stand on top of a planet that's spherical and spinning around, right? A human, given enough pressure, can come to realize that other than other people and other places, they are the only things that need to be conquered, and quickly, before there's nothing else left. A corporation that's fueled by nothing but gain, capital, and that four-letter programming word more can never come to understand these things, and so the race is on between global corporate domination and global people's uprising. Honestly, this isn't a video game, this isn't a movie, this isn't a rock song, alright? This isn't some abstract concept, this is our goddamn future. In the next 5 to 10 years, the entire world is pissed off enough to get up, start screaming and throwing shit. If this thing, if passed, is probably going to be a really huge part of the reason why. So it needs to be stopped dead in its tracks, like dead in its tracks. Or commerce and politics and communities as we know them need to be dismantled and replaced and removed. Period. Or both. I've heard the argument for both. Now, in the 9 months that I spent occupying San Diego, I have seen us tested with just about every problem I can imagine. From internal confrontations about the class divide, the tests of unlearned social constructs that divide us by way of race, sexual orientation, gender identity, economic and education privilege, religion, spirituality, literally every bar in the cage, right? As well as ego-driven political aggrandizing, we're going to have to admit that, demonization from the media, the shameless erosion of our human rights, suppression and violence from the state. The list, as many of us know, goes on. There are many weapons with which the few, with the false power, use to keep the many with the real power from rising up. But I dare say, there is no weapon more violent unleashed on our population than comfort and apathy. It seems to me that all of our thoughts and our effort, as a whole population that is, we have a bunch of badass people here, but like all of our population here in this, like in the States,
Did you see
all of our thoughts and efforts seem to be aimed at avoiding thought and effort. You know? Things are just so difficult in the real world that we cover our ears for lack of a remote control with a mute button or a channel changer. We're more comfortable buying and selling ourselves into poverty than even looking at what's wrong with the picture, much less organizing to rectify our problems. Now, I don't have any political or poll, you know, or any like academic or social status as an activist, you know. I don't have years of organization behind my back. I've never been to any exotic countries or anything. But if I'm good at one thing, it's calling bullshit when I see it. Bullshit. I've learned everything that I know about organized resistance through struggle. As is the way that we naturally build ourselves. I'm not alone here. We have all in a way transformed in the face of global dissent. So in the last 9 months, my dedication to uniting for true freedom has taken more of a true form than ever before. And I've been formally introduced to my life's purpose. So I guess you could say in the last 9 months, with the coming use of good old solidarity, I have been born in a way. Just in time to rise. Learn to speak and learn to walk. Let's not mince words. Literally, this is how crazy people are. We are now facing global enslavement at the hands of little pieces of paper that are filling in for a bunch of shiny rocks that we might not even have. Unless we unite, unless some of us prepare our system for its replacement and others prepare the replacement for the system. The time for tiptoeing up to our oppressors and politely tapping them on the shoulder and requesting for our rights and our dignity and our respect as human beings, that time's over. They're not listening. When was the last time any dictator gave their people a permit to shut them down? I have a question now. Whose streets are these? Our streets! I'm sorry, I was a little bit. Whose streets are these? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! No shit, huh? Prove it! Prove it! Let no one censor or distract or scare you. Let's let the ruling class know from here on out that they've got a choice. Either we, all over the world, take our world back, we shut theirs down, or both. They've got a choice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for Hex. Let's hear another round of applause for all of our 3 speakers that just spoke for us. All right, next up we're going to have some speakers of some of our sponsoring organizations talk to us. Just a reminder, we do have these keys, so if anyone lost a Prox Card 2 card, you should come find me. And right now we're going to have someone from Bayern USA come up and speak with us.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ivan Benacante. I'm from Anak Bayern USA San Diego chapter, and I'm representing Bayern USA, an overseas chapter of Bayern Philippines, the national democratic movement of the Philippines. We are fighting for national and social liberation from U.S. imperialism, and we've been doing it for 40 years plus, and we are finishing the unfinished revolution of 1896 under Bandes Bonifacio. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to start with a chant. If you know it, please join. Rise up, rise up, rise up. Rise up, rise up, rise up. Rise up, my people, rise up. Rise up, my people, rise up. Right on. Okay. So, the TPP, if it is anything like its predecessor, NAFTA. And CAFTA. Okay. We can expect more destruction and domination. One thing that we have to recognize that along with so-called free trade agreements, economic policy, there is political, military violence following that, or alongside that. It's no coincidence, like I said on Monday in the earlier rally, that the same time the TPPA is being pushed, Obama is also pushing and having a military pivot to the Asian Pacific. And it's primarily for one reason only. The Asian Pacific is home to 60% of the world's population. For the global 1%, the corporations, that's a lot of customers for them. That's a lot of natural resources for them to exploit. That's a lot of cheap labor for them. And that's a lot of jobs being lost here in the United States. That's a lot of money going to military, going to violence, going to killings, when it should be spent on social services. The TPPA represents a larger form. That's why they be calling it NAFTA on steroids. It's a larger form of higher unity on behalf of the 1%, on behalf of imperialism, neoliberal capitalism. And if it's anything like its predecessor, we won't only see death and destruction, we will also see people's resistance. And the only way we can defeat it is through a higher unity of people, a united front of anti-imperialist forces. In the Philippines, this is nothing new. The Philippines is very important to the U.S., to the Obama administration. They have made a puppet off of all the Philippine presidents. Right now, there's a counterinsurgency warfare going on in the Philippines. It is fully funded, sponsored, and also directed on behalf of the United States. That's your tax dollars. When you go to work, you work hard. Your tax dollars are going to that. It's killing my people. But one thing they don't want you to know is that there is a people's resistance going on in the Philippines. Just like when NAFTA hit, the people took up arms in Chiapas. People took the streets in the United States and all over the world to resist this, just like they're doing now. They're not only taking to the streets, some of them are choosing to go underground and take up arms. That's because they have no choice. They had no choice in Chiapas. And the people in the Philippines and the countryside, they had no choice. That's why they take up arms. Therefore, I want to dedicate this speech and our forces out here to a fallen comrade, Arman Albarillo, who was martyred on June 30th from the Philippine military, the puppet Philippine military, the puppet Philippine president, Noynoy Aquino. If you'll join me, I want to put a fist up in a moment of silence on behalf of Comrade Arman. Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Stop the U.S.-led TPPA!
Stop the U.S.-led TPPA!
Human rights over corporate rights!
Human rights over corporate rights!
No to U.S. economic, political, and military intervention!
No to U.S. economic, political intervention!
Respect national sovereignty and self-determination!
Respect national sovereignty and self-determination!
Long live international solidarity!
Long live international
solidarity!
International solidarity!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ivan. It was really powerful. All right, next up we're going to have a big supporter from an amazing union, native here to San Diego, and it is Mr. Matthew McKinnon from the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. So give a round of applause.
Sisters and brothers, 50,000 factories in the United States have closed in the last 10 years. 5 million American manufacturing workers have lost their jobs since NAFTA took effect. And what it's spread is substandard working conditions globally. And if we think that that doesn't come home to roost here in the United States, we're kidding ourselves. In Virginia, a few months ago, the Machinists Union organized a factory where workers were wearing adult diapers because they couldn't take a break from the machines.
Bullshit!
When I went to work in the factory, not very far from here, I came from DC, but I grew up here. And I'm so proud of you all here. Thank you, everybody, for everything you've done. When I went to work in the factory, 35% of American workers had a retirement at the end of their work life. Today, when these young brothers and sisters go to work, 8% are looking forward to a retirement. I could go on and on about health care and access to health care. The chickens come home to roost here when we move the jobs offshore and encourage and allow anything short of workers being able to organize freely and better their way of life at their will with their democracy. Brothers and sisters of San Diego, again, from the Machinist Union, aerospace workers, we are so proud of you. We thank you for everything you've done to help us this week. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, just a couple of other quick announcements. We also found a cell phone, so if you find yourself missing a cell phone, come to me, tell me what kind it is, and we can get it back to you. All right, so next, to follow up with our brothers and sisters in Bion USA, we're going to have someone from ELPS, which is the International League for People's Struggle. So please welcome them up and give a round of applause. Round of applause!
Thank you. Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. My name is Kusela Hilo, one of the country coordinators for the International League of People's Struggles U.S. chapter. And salute to you all because TPP talks are occupied today! For all the people who have come from across San Diego, from Los Angeles, and from as far as New Zealand, this is a very important protest. Because as our brother said earlier, 60% of the world's people live in the Asia-Pacific region. That includes us too, because this TPPA will include an impact and hurt the 99% here in North America, here in the United States. Congratulations to the Occupy movement that put focus on Wall Street, right in our backyard, that has allowed the exploitation by the trillions. And here in San Diego and everywhere, the TPP talks will go from here. We have to be there because not just 60% of the world's people depend on us stopping the TPP. The entire world's people depend on us stopping the TPP. And we know we can do it. People's protested free trade agreements before. We know what went down in the Battle of Seattle. We need to revive and remember our history of resistance right here in the United States. So now the people in there are making a Trans-Pacific Partner Agreement, are trying to. We need to continue making agreements of resistance in the streets with each other. That is what international solidarity looks like. We need to turn the Asia-Pacific Rim not just into a ring of fire because of the earthquakes, but into a ring of people's resistance against the TPP. A ring of resistance against the U.S. domination, U.S.-led militarization of the Asia-Pacific, because it's been more than 100 years, sisters and brothers, that the United States government has been leading wars of aggression, not in our name, but in the names of the banks, in the name of the 1%. And we know that the Asia Pacific is critical to U.S. world power schemes, and we're gonna stop it. So the International League of People's Struggles marched with the sisters and brothers in Chicago against NATO. We are here with you today. Bayan USA, Gabriela USA, the Palestinian Youth Movement, the Committee to Stop FBI Repression, Hobby Arts, and many other organizations have joined the ILPS. We are standing and fighting side by side with the sisters and brothers in Australia, New Zealand, all around the world. There are more than 350 organizations in the ILPS today. We are linking the people's struggles to advance national and social liberation struggles, to fight for the rights of migrants, of women, of youth, students, LGBTQ, for healthcare, for indigenous people's rights to the land. We have to build and broaden this league of people's struggle. Struggle is our only hope and our only path to a brighter future. A future where there is genuine democracy, justice, and peace. And we will fight for it. And I would like to close this speech with a chant for you all that we're going to do together to say stop the TPP. And we're also going to do, I would like to ask you to keep Comrade Willem Gutman in your thoughts and in your hearts as we fight against the TPP here. Willem Gutman, we were with him last year at the ILPS International Assembly. He is from the Netherlands, but he lived more than 47 years of his life in the Philippines, working with the farmers who make the sugar for Coca-Cola. And guess what they did to him 3 days ago? They assassinated him. They assassinated an NGO leader. He was a farmers and indigenous people's rights activist and anti-mining activist, and I'm sure he would have been at any other protest to fight against the TPP if he was still living. But now it's up to us to continue the fight against the TPP to build a brighter future. So, I'd like to do it and close it this way. Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Justice for Willem!
Justice for Willem!
Justice for Willem!
Justice for Willem!
No to TPP!
No to TPP!
No to TPP!
No to TPP!
And one more chant. Who?
We!
When?
Now!
We're gonna stop the TPA now!